You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Hey, you're listening to Adulting with Horses, the best place to be if you can't be at the barn. We are your co-hosts and equine authors, Heather Wallace and Natalie Keller-Reinert. As crazy horse girls, we don't take ourselves too seriously in the saddle or out. We celebrate the things that make us different. Join us as we talk about horses and pop culture and get a little weird in a fun way. Thank you for being a little weird with us. So, we chat right before we hit record, and we're talking about trusting the process.
I have a great trusting the process story.
Do you? I love your stories.
Okay,
They're always so involved and somehow include Disney, every time.
Yes, this one includes Disney.
Are you kidding me?
No, this is so funny. This happened. So we were at Disney, and there's this ride in the land called Living with the Land, and it's a boat ride, and it's slow. But at Christmas time, they decorate the greenhouse with all of these lights, and it's called glimmering greenhouses. And so the wait for this ride goes from 15 minutes all year to 45 minutes during glimmering greenhouses. It's insane. And so we wait 40 minutes for this ride, and then we're getting up towards the front, and I said to Corey, okay, I'm going to ask for front row, because that way you can see all of the glimmering greenhouses because there's nobody in front of you. And he's like, okay, it means we might have to wait longer. I'm like, it's fine. So we go up, and there's a guy that sends you to, each row of the boat. It's called a grouper. And he looks at me, and I just hold up my fingers too, because there's two in my party. And he reaches over, unsnaps a chain, and says, row one, and sends me to a different line to get into row one. And Corey said, how did you do that? I said, I didn't. He said, you didn't say or gesture or, I said, no, I just said two in my party. And he literally escorted us to the front row of the boat because I wanted it. And the universe said, you know what, bitch? You deserve front row in glimmering greenhouses because you've been at Disney for 2 days and you've been sick the whole time.
You manifested that. You created your reality.
Aren't you excited about that story? You walked me right into that story.
I really did.
Who knew that was coming?
I set you up completely. Yeah.
It was
like
magical.
We've worked together before. Well, no, and it's funny too, because I'm a big believer that energy goes where you put it, right? So
sure.
So I use this example. When I went to Mongolia, you see, that's my Disney right there.
Did you go to Mongolia?
Yeah. So I got to bring that into the...
That is your Disney.
It is my Disney. When I went to Mongolia, I really put my bodywork practice on the back burner. I obviously had to do a lot of prep work. I had to leave for almost a month. And when I came back, there was a lot of work I did because I got hired by the company. And I for about a year, I really did not focus on my business. So as a result, my regular clients kind of hung around, but I didn't bring any new business, right? I wasn't focused on it. I was focusing on someone else's business. And so when I went the second time and I realized how much of an experience I was having and how wonderful it was, but how it wasn't mine, I decided that I wanted to put more emphasis on my own projects and my own things. And so I devoted, my intention into putting more effort into my bodywork business. And literally within 2-3 months, it blew up.
Yeah.
Completely in the best of ways. Right. And so, I think that's just when we talk about glimmering greenhouses or
obviously
you have to trust the process, because where you want your attention to go is what is then created for you.
What is your front row? What do you want front row on? Or if you are a certain kind of roller coaster rider, back row, because you get whipped around more.
Yeah.
So if you want to get whipped around in life, which some people do, they're more adventure seekers than I am. What's your back row?
I mean, I'm kind of tired of getting whipped around.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking for a nice, safe, maybe third, fourth row.
Yeah. Well, you sit in the front row on these old fashioned coasters, and you are midway down the drop before it starts moving because you needed the weight of the coaster to push you down.
And then suddenly
so
you're
it's
pushed.
more of a scenic route. And I am real big on scenic routes.
Yeah. And I mean, that's how I am on trail rides too. Like, I'd rather take the scenic route than like the technical push for whatever, glory.
Yeah. I long for glory, but I have neither the horse nor the muscle to support it. So scenery is good.
So speaking of, and thank you for setting me up for this. I know you didn't intend to.
I didn't.
I, as you know, have not ridden in like a year, almost a year. Okay. I went in with the full intention of riding my pony last week.
Oh, that's
I
close,
went into the barn and I was dressed like an equestrian, like not a homeless person, like an actual.
Did you wear an outfit?
I did.
What'd you wear? Did you wear breeches?
I wore breeches. They were fleece lined, of course. I wore my riding boots. I also fleece lined. I wore my Bittori base layer.
Tundra of New Jersey.
Yeah. I wore my Bittori base layer that I bought at Equine Affair, which I freaking love.
That's
and
amazing.
I wore my Irish knit sweater.
Oh, I need one of them.
Yeah. Oh, so great. That was Dubarry. And then I had I have a B vertical riding coat that I got. And I ended up taking off the coat, but like I walked into the barn. This is hilarious. So I walked into the barn and I got like the shock and awe. People are like, Heather, oh my God. Like, are you, dare I say it, riding? And I was like, hell yeah, I am, bitches. Like, as if I hadn't been completely MIA for months.
Yeah.
So the best part about it, and I'll get around to the muscle part, but so I went in with the intention of my pony is better fit than I am. Let me see where I'm at, right? Like, let me see physically what I am capable of right now.
Walking around for 5 minutes.
Right. So I was like, I have no intention of cantering. Maybe I'll trot. I'm not sure like how sore I'm going to be. I've also lost like 45 pounds since the last time I rode. So like, I don't know my body right now.
Oh, and your horse doesn't know your body.
Right.
And the what's her face? We know she's a podcaster. I apologize. Said that you were too small to be an effective rider.
Right. Oh yes. So from stable riding, when I was at Equine Affair, stable riding had this demonstration at their booth saying that anyone who was like under 5'5" and weighed less than 130 pounds cannot be an effective rider for typical lessons. Typical riding lessons, right? So my mind is like blown as someone who did saddle fit evaluation. I'm like, I must have learned more. So I went in with the idea of like, let's see what I've got, right? Let's see where I'm at.
Need special needs riding lessons for 5'5" women. The specialty is born.
We need to have her on to talk more about that. By the way.
I only teach short, slight riders. They have their own needs that I specialize.
Clearly, well, we always know I'm special, but not always in the best of ways. So,
okay,
but it was really funny because I was like, I went in with only the intention that I was going to get on my pony and see what I was working with for myself because I know he's fine. And so I get on, everything's good. Oh, is your cat about to interrupt me? He is like such a cock blocker. I swear to God.
Glasgow.
So, and you have to tell his story later. But so I'm walking around. I'm getting a feel for my seat. I'm like, you know what? I turned to my daughter who's riding her pony. I was like, I think I'm going to trot. She's like, oh my God. Like, and now mind you, this is my first time riding in this new barn. Like, I've never ridden here before. So I started trotting him, immediately pick up the correct diagonal, just felt so great, posting wonderfully, still leg. I was like, I feel amazing.
It was like you were 10 years old again.
It was, I felt like this such a great endorphin rush and like an ego boost, like a confidence boost. I didn't get out of breath and I'm riding and no less than like 3 people came into the indoor and be like, oh my God, you're really on. So
everyone's documenting. They got their phones up.
I was like, there's such lore now at the barn that like people are walking in, they're running out and they're like, Heather's on a horse. Like,
oh my God, Heather Lore, you're like a sorceress there. Like, she shows up once a year, rides beautifully, disappears.
I honestly, my ec was perfect. Like I felt good. And just at the point where I was like, maybe try a canter, the universe said no. do not do this, because all of a sudden my pony stops and he does that head thing where he like picks up his head, arches it, ears forward, and starts snorting. And I said, and now we're done. Now we're done, because I'm not pulling a Natalie and getting thrown my first ride back.
Yeah. I haven't quite gotten over that.
But I tell you, I feel good because I was sore from that. Like I rode for maybe 20 minutes. I did a nice walk trot. We did serpentines. We did poles. We did, like I pushed myself a little bit because I wanted to see what I could do. And it was like just putting on a comfortable pair of shoes and just going for a walk that I've done 1,000 times. Like, it was lovely.
Yeah.
I felt
That's so nice.
confident.
How'd you feel the next day?
Don't ask me that. I went to go turn the Christmas tree on, and I kind of got stuck. So I'm like, I need to work on stretching. No one's surprised.
I don't think there's nothing for that like special inner hip pain that only comes from riding and taking a long break from riding.
I will say I do have a wonderful saddle that is like really comfortable, but I immediately got off and I was like, let me find my sheepskin, because it's that time of year. Like, no, but it was great. And so like I wasn't sure if I was muscled up enough or had the cardio fitness or whatever. And coming off of that first ride, because that tells you a lot, right? After that first ride, like how sore are you? How fit are you? Because I took once after COVID, I came back and I'd only been out for like 2 months because I had no strength. I couldn't trot around like the whole arena. Like I couldn't do it. So it felt great to be able to trot around and feel like smooth and fluid. And I was like, damn, I'm actually pretty good.
I know. I remember when I came back, like, I was mounted officer, so I rode like 3 or 4 hours a day. And then I had like a 2-year gap. And then I took a riding lesson in which I could not post. Like, it was just not there. I'm like, I swear, I used to literally ride for my job, and it wasn't that long ago, but none of that stayed with me. I had to build all that up again, and using an elliptical really helped me with that, actually.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And I still try to do an elliptical like 3 or 4 days a week. And that helps me with the like gap between rides, because I have not been riding. I don't know when I'm going to ride, and I feel okay.
Well, because you're in that spooky season in Florida right now, where the temperature drops. And Ben is a spooky boy.
He's a spooky boy. Yeah. And I want to just hack him. So I kind of put into my, because I was in like an organized place this morning, like we were saying before we started. Like I write in my journal every morning, and unfortunately when I do that, like the ideas start sparking, and it's like a very idea sparky kind of day. And I did write down some ideas for something, and I said, do you know what? I really need to be more conscientious about my planner and actually like knowing what I'm going to do in a day, instead of giving myself big blanks where I then scroll on social media or fall asleep.
That sounds lovely.
It's not. I get so frustrated because I know what's happening, but because I didn't plan it, unless I enter into like a hyper state where all of a sudden I want to do things, I don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah. It's like a functional freeze.
Exactly. So, so I wrote on like, I wrote revision for the afternoon because I have a huge revision project that I'm embarking on today. And then I wrote under that horse time, and then like question mark, not questioning horse time, just what will the horse time be? Because it gets dark, and that's my situation. I keep seeing people putting up like, you can buy these portable lights now, so you don't need an arena to ride, but you can kind of have lights. But I'm like, if it's darker outside of the lights, how much proportionately harder is the spook?
As someone who has ridden outside under lights for the last 3 winters,
yeah,
I shall talk about this.
Okay, I need to know.
Lights create shadows.
Yeah.
And anything that moves in the shadows is going to murder you.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly.
Your horse can see in the dark.
Right.
But if you add lights,
they can't see. Yes.
So it is infinitely better to ride without lights or like
In the
ambient light from the house in the
Yeah.
dark than it is to add lights. Now, some people might disagree with me, right? Which is fine. There's a difference between having a very well lit arena outside than to have like one or two like solar lights that you put out and
Mhm.
jerry rig. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. I used to ride, like, I like to walk around in the dark. It's a thing of mine, especially after spider season. So, like, now I can just go out, wander around in the dark, and I love that. And yeah, I can see. And then sometimes, like, we were walking down the road in the night to get the mail or something. And Corey turned on his flashlight. I was like, dude, turn that off. Now I can't see anything. Turn
Right.
it off. He's like, it's really dark. I said, trust me, right? Because you get used to even starlight becomes enough to walk by, especially because my road is white. And I used to ride by moonlight when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Should I ride by moonlight? Probably not. Probably shouldn't.
Well, you have a very well treed area right now, so like the moon has to be in the right position. But I will
Oh,
say,
yeah.
like, I actually was unsure because we know I lack confidence sometimes. I was unsure about riding at night. Okay.
Yeah.
And now this is my season. Ferris and I, we thrive in the winter together. Like he lights up. Suddenly there's no spur and no stick, right?
Yeah. I feel
So
like Ben lights up in the winter too, and that's a problem.
right, but in a bad way. And
Why
so
are there
like
so much horse?
well, I finally have a lot of horse underneath me, right? Like
Yeah.
he gets more peppy, but not in a dangerous way. So I actually preferred once I got used to the idea, I did really like riding outside. It was more for me that I was nervous than my horse. My horse actually was fine. He never did anything wrong when we rode at night.
Yeah. You know what I think I need to do? This is helpful, is I think what I need is like a better light for where I do my evening chores.
Mm.
And then I don't have to be done when it's dark. I can come in and untack, so I could ride in the dusk even, because it's only a few more weeks until the days start getting longer again anyway.
Yeah,
So
it's not that much time in the
that's
scheme
what
of
I
things.
I just need a better outside light. And you know whose job that is? That's my husband's job.
Corey.
Yay, a job! Yay!
You know, he likes having jobs because
Loves
he
having
feels
jobs.
useful.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just going to give it. And I would recommend maybe a timer light or a light you could turn on and off, not one of those that just pop on with motion because that's going to get you dead.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's going to be a problem.
The death
Because
light.
Glasgow's going to come out and you're all going to just.
Oh yeah,
all
because
over
he's
the
got to be a part of everything.
Yes, he does.
I went out to take Manny's blanket off before we started, and Glasgow's like, I'm coming. I was like, great, this is going to take an extra 10 minutes because he doesn't want to be left in the field. You know, he wants to come through the gate. He doesn't want to climb the fence. He wants me to open it, but he doesn't want to come in a hurry. He wants to hang out and look at things, and there's a moth. And so it took an extra 10 minutes
Well-
to take a blanket off.
Speaking of Glasgow, we have a couple minutes before we're going to start our topic, but I think
Okay.
you need to tell the story about Thanksgiving.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
He's ridiculous. So Glasgow has insisted from the beginning, even when I tried to make him an indoor cat, he's like, no, I at least have to poop outside. He's an outside pooper. And so when the farm sitter is here, she will let him out front in the front yard to poop and then bring him back inside, or she'll walk him around a little bit. But then she's like, the rest of the time you got to stay inside because I'm not out there and you can't be out by yourself. And so on, let's see, Friday morning,
So the day after Thanksgiving.
day after Thanksgiving, he went out, climbed the fence, went into the woods.
Just like peace out.
Yep, exactly. Just big bang boom. And she was like, So the cat's in the woods and he won't come out. Like, okay. Well, if he doesn't come home by tonight, then I have to come home and get him in because it was going to be in the 30s that night. And you know, he's a little softy and sleeps on a fleece blanket. He can't be out in the 30s, even to teach him a lesson. And so, indeed, I did have to drive home 4 hours unexpectedly. And so we got in, and I was unpacking the truck, and I hear meep, meep. And he's coming up the driveway, just meep. And he's been in the woods all day, and then he's just like, hey, guys, wanted to cuddle with you. Yeah. So
If that's not having cats, I don't know what is.
I mean, it worked out for Calvin because he had a project he needed to finish. So I was like, are you a little glad? He's like, a little. But we kind of rent a not an expensive lake house, but not a free lake house either.
Right.
We had to leave early. So that was unfortunate. But I mean, it's it's your cat. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. What are you going to
He
do?
sleeps on my pillow, man. Like I'm gonna be like, stay out all night, suck it up. That's not happening.
Well, no, and it's not even that. Like you live in Florida, like everything can kill you. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And he doesn't really wander anymore. He kind of just sticks around, and when I say the woods, I mean the trees right next to my driveway, but they're kind of low and thick, so you can't just like go in. And that's where he goes and sits. And he's like, you can't reach me. He did it to me the other day, and he was really surprised when I did crawl in after him and drag him out.
not today, motherfucker.
I wanted to go somewhere. I was like, you're going in the house. He watched me come out. I'm like, oh my God, she's coming. But I can't ask my farm sitter to crawl through trees for him.
No, that's kind of above and beyond service.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It was, yeah. He's a monster. He's gone, by the way. He went back out. I didn't give him what he wanted.
Yeah, attention.
Well, I think he wants me to make the bed and then put a fleece blanket over top of my pillow so that he can sleep on it. It's about that time of day.
He's trained you.
I don't mind.
I do like cats for that reason. Mm-hmm. They're so ornery. And I have I have my barn cat, and he comes in and he follows me around. Yeah. Like I have to sit with him first until he's done. Or he will follow me around yelling at me. He followed me into the riding arena while I was talking to some people and forced me to sit on the mounting block so he could climb into my lap.
I like that about cats, is that they know what they want, and they know how to tell you what they want, so you can make them happy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I struggle with the most with the horses. What's going to make you happy? And they stare into space. I'm like, what's going to make you happy? What do you want from me? They stare into space.
So okay. that is actually the most perfect segue into the topic. So I had told you.
I'm a pro.
I know. God, it's like we do this for a living. So before we got on, we're fast and loose about our topic ideas.
Very.
I let them present themselves to us, right? And I had, within the last 24 hours, multiple instances where people were asking if their horse was either the right fit or ready for retirement, or meant for them. Right? Should they sell them? Is it a good fit, or are they ready to be retired? And today, specifically, Cementedix is a horse I've known for 14 years. And they've been struggling since the spring about wondering if he wants to keep working because he seems to,
mm-hmm.
or if he's just done. And not to go into this any depth, but, I lost my dog, and I had said, I'm going to let him tell me. Right, when he's done. So, how do you know when it's time to retire them or to sell them or whatnot? And I think it's not really an easy answer because every animal is different, right? But so, for example, in this case, the horse has had more and more body soreness. He's been a little bit more spooky under saddle. It's very anti his personality.
Mm-hmm.
And his personality has completely changed. And he's not complaining, but he's also doesn't seem comfortable,
mm-hmm.
right? And so the owner has said to me, she's like, I went from thinking maybe I'll give him some time off and a chance to now feeling guilty. And I'm like, there's your answer. There's your answer, because you feel guilty that he's currently working.
Yeah, I always feel like, am I... Like I say, Ben likes to do things and he likes to work. And then he indicates that he wants a break. And then I say to myself, what does he really like to work? Or am I just projecting myself onto him because my personality is about work, work, work all the time? And, but, to your point, their personality really well, whether you give yourself credit for that or not. And you can tell if they're hanging all over you and they want to be up in your face all the time, then they probably need to do something. And if their personality has changed and they're more standoffish, or they're spooky, or they're simply just giving you lots of negative indicators all the time, then a negative indicator is
Is that, yeah.
You're not projecting that. Like, you know your horse's personality.
Well, and it's, you feel guilty. So, like, I've always said that, like, I never felt truly that guilty because Ferris would love to be a paddock pet. And so I didn't feel that bad really focusing on myself this last year, but then something changed.
Mm-hmm.
He came out of the paddock, broke his halter, like stepped on it, like he like stepped on the clip, snapped it, and then took off at a full gallop away, and like was like racing around and the barn owner was like, he's bored. Like, I think he's bored because we've known him forever. And I said, maybe it's time to get him back into light work. Let's start thinking about it. So, like, the change in behavior, whether it's for the better or for the worse, right? Like, that's a good mark because a lot of horses don't tell you. Ferris is very stoic, just like this other horse is very stoic.
It's almost, and horses are so subtle because they're prey animals, right? And they work with each other through body language
and energy.
And energy, right? Exactly. So when I watch Ben has a really specific schedule throughout the day, and I'm lucky enough that I can stare out the window and watch him and not do my work. And when he spends a lot of time, different parts of the day, hassling Manny, who's old and doesn't want to be bothered, that's when I say, oh, I think I need to at least go out and do some clicker work with Ben because his brain is turning over. He's got too much on his mind. He wants to do something. And all he can do is hassle Manny, chase him around, constantly nip at him. And Manny's like, ugh, leave me alone. I'm 25 years old. I just want to eat with the 5 teeth that I have remaining in my head. It's like, it takes a lot of work to be Manny. Ben's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? I said, okay, because Ben's not a teenager. Like, I mean, he is a teenager as in literal years, but in like,
maturity
mental
level.
years. Exactly. He's no teen. He's a middle-aged man. And if he's out there punching up the old guy, like, okay, let me find something for you to do.
You're done.
I'm looking at him right now, and he's tearing at his hay bag, like, it has really offended him. I think there's some alfalfa buried in it.
Well, and I think it's funny, too, because, and now I have been lucky in the sense that the horses that I have are horses I've known for years.
Yeah.
But, like, what happens, and I know you have a little experience selling horses, but, like, what happens if you buy a horse that you test rode? I'll give another example, and I'm not going to use names or anything, but like I had a client who went to try a horse. It went badly, and she bought the horse.
Okay.
Because of she made a justification that the horse like did something to protect her, but like the horse bolted and it was like right off the track. But the owner is still trying to get back into riding, right?
Mm-hmm.
This could potentially be a very bad fit.
Yes.
But how do you know? Like, do you give it a certain amount of time to see if you really gel and get to know each other? Do you give it time to build that connection? Like, for me, I think everything with horses is about connection.
I think so. I have had a horse that I couldn't connect with at all. And I gave it a real good try. And I don't really remember coming off of her significantly or anything, but we couldn't get anything done together.
Mm-hmm.
We could not match our moods.
Like, no chemistry.
No chemistry. I mean, I'm talking even on the ground, we didn't work together well. She was just like, I don't get it. I don't get you. I'm going to spook at everything. Like, her whole brain was fried around me. Like, I don't know what I did to her.
No, I remember like that I rode.
Yeah.
And I rode her twice. And I came off both times. Like, we just could not agree. And she was a horse that everyone loved. But she and I did not gel.
Mm-hmm. And, and this horse went on, like, I couldn't get her to step over a pole on the ground without panicking.
Really?
This horse went on to be not just a fox hunter, but literally like somebody, with a title in the hunt.
Like a whip
favorite
master
horse
or whatever.
Yeah, like an MFH or something. Like this horse led every hunt.
What?
I could not get her to step over a pole. Like, there was just something. And so I also had I had a horse. It wasn't they were related, horse related, whatever. They had the same sire, I think, and they came from their broodmares came from the same band, so they might have gone out together at some point. And this horse was like, "Hi, I love you. I'm gonna get into your pocket. I know that I'm 16 3 hands, but like, let's be best friends forever." Because she was the nicest horse, and I sold her to a lady. She was been 20 some years as a trail horse and just like the happiest, go lucky Labrador retriever puppy of a mare you've ever met in your life. Like this woman still Facebook messages me sometimes, and I think I don't even know if the horse is still alive, but she might be. And she just loved her so much. I was like, okay, it's not really what I intended her for, but she sure enjoyed it. So, and these are two horses at the exact same time in the exact same barn in stalls next to each other, turned out together. And could not disagree on me more.
Well, there's something to be said about personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you're picking a dog from a litter, right? They have these temperament tests.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to buy a horse, you do a trial, right? You do a test ride with your trainer, hopefully first, and then you do a trial to see if it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the trial is usually anywhere from like 2 weeks to a month. It's not usually very long, but I feel like that's the right amount of time. Like, I just, if you have to have your horse for months and you're still not gelling after like 3-4 months, and like, I don't think it's the right fit.
I think that's probably safe because at that point you have to invest a lot to figure out your connection. Like you might need to send the horse to a trainer. You might need to be taking additional lessons every week. Was that in your budget? Was that part of what you planned? What was your plan for this horse? Were you looking for a buddy, or were you looking for a horse to compete and move up with and bond with in that way?
Right.
Because those are really different needs. I see every now and then I'll see somebody, I don't really know them. I see their pictures on Instagram. I can make a lot of judgments about them based on that, but none of them are based in reality.
Right.
And they'll be like, "Oh, I've had this horse for so long and it's time to sell them because like what I want and what the horse wants are two different things." That's a relationship that at this point, I don't understand. I probably might have understood it in my 20s, but now I'm like, if that's my horse that I hang out with, then my needs are going to adjust to fit that horse's needs.
Right.
Even if I'm a competitive person, even if I'm in a competitive situation where I'm literally like going to shows all winter and stuff like that, if my dream is dressage and my horse's dream is being a hunter, I'm not saying I'm going to be a hunter, but I might look for a different situation so I don't have to sell my horse and buy a new one just to compete. That gives me the willies. But it didn't used to either. It's just kind of like who I've developed into. I was reading a book the other day and it started talking about the emotional lives of gnats, and I had to stop reading it because I was like, if I think too much about gnats, I'm not going to be able to function. Like, my empathy level for animals has gotten so absurd that I can basically barely make it through a day as it is.
Well, so you bring up a couple good points, right?
All of them shrouded in mystery.
Well, one of them is like, where are you at in your life? Like, what are your goals? Do they match your horse's goals? Yes, that can change over time. And so say, for example, I'm going to use Delight as an example because Delight was super athletic. He had a lot of promise. He could jump 4 foot. Obviously, a timid rider is not a good fit for that horse, right? Right. And he's he's very dominant personality. He didn't have a lot of ground manners, but he and I clicked. Like, we loved each other on the ground. Like, I took care of him. He took care of me under saddle. Like, we just clicked. So fast forward years later, I didn't purchase him. He went to somebody else. And they did try the athletic route. They tried, okay, well, he's super athletic. Let's jump him, all these days at this big performance barn. And he hated it, right? So I realized that just because he could didn't mean he wanted to. And then suddenly it felt like maybe we were the perfect fit. So when I was given the opportunity to like get him back into my life, it was with the promise to myself that like I would let him dictate what that relationship was, whether it was a trail riding home, whether we were going to do little hunter paces or shows or, just to see what it was. But because that's where I was in my life at the time. In my 20s, I wouldn't have had the option to choose that. It would have been like, well, I have a riding horse or I have nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like what am I gonna do? I'm gonna not ride a horse.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
like yeah.
I wasn't financially able to even, no, obviously with divorce and everything, like I'm struggling to like keep everything up to date, but it's never crossed my mind. Like I will cut everything else before
Sure.
I cut my horses.
Yeah, you reach a point where you're like, simply having the horse is the reward.
Correct.
And if it costs me everything else to have that horse that I, never have time to ride or even care to ride, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
And it's my priorities. So it's not better than someone else's priorities. I just want to make that very clear. Like if you choose to sell your horse because, you guys don't get along or you're not a good fit, that's fair.
Yeah.
If you choose to sell your horse because you want to do dressage and they're more of a hunter, that's fair. That's just not me.
All of this is 100% personality dominated.
Right.
And I think that one of the most interesting things that has come out of like my years working in retail and theme parks and observing people has been learning, we're all dominated by what our personality is. And we all make our decisions based on that. And it's so sometimes if somebody is doing something that is radically different from anything you could do, you have to look at how their brain works.
Right.
And go, like, I just, my personality at this point is just like, I would just want to, I'm like the one guy on Great British Baking Show who dropped his pan and said, I just want an easy life. I do. I just want an easy life.
Well, and
everything has been so hard and I want to break. And that's my personality right now. I want to break.
Well, I think my advice to anyone who says, when is it time to let my horse go? Whether that's to a new owner, to a retirement farm, or, God forbid, euthanasia. Like nobody wants to talk about that. But when is it time? If you're asking, then it's probably something that you have to think about very seriously because it doesn't occur to somebody who isn't in that, right? Like, so something's changed. That's why you're questioning it.
That is an incredible point.
You don't
just like go, maybe I should rethink this entire relationship. Unless there's a great reason to rethink the entire relationship.
Something is telling you that something has changed.
And so then it becomes, if the horse's interest level has changed, how does that affect you and what you want from your relationship with the horse? Are you going to alter the relationship with the horse by following their lead and changing your priorities? Are you going to find a situation for the horse that respects what the horse is looking for and change your relationship with the horse? I might have said that twice, but I meant it differently.
I see what you're saying. But there's a lot of empathy in that, right? In that connection.
Right. You have to decide, is your moment going to be following what this horse wants with yourself or following what this horse wants with a new situation?
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, I get it.
Maybe I need more coffee.
Well, because no, you're very lively. I love it. Your morning Natalie is wonderful. I think like
truly no one has ever said that before.
Well, I'm enjoying it. In my line of work with the body work, I do see a lot of hospice cases, right? Where I might see them right before they get, the big injection, whether that's a horse or a dog. And I'm not a vet, so I'm allowed to, kind of be a therapist for them and not give advice. But usually my response to how do I know when it's time is your animal better than anybody, right? Because I've seen instances where a horse has gone down 5-6 times and had to be like revived and the owner was not letting them go. But that was because of the owner refusal to admit what was happening, not because the horse wasn't very clear, right?
Yeah.
So we have to have that empathy and really say, like, if we're horse people, if we're horse women, and we're connecting to our horses in the way that we all want to, or I hope we want to, then you should already know in your gut what the right answer is. Whether that is keeping them, selling them, changing their home, like whatever it is, you should already know. And by asking, you're almost asking your head and your heart to do two different things.
Yeah, and because your head's going to say, well, I want to give this every possible chance and
Right.
I want to work through this in every single way. And if you're doing that, let's say you're doing that with a horse you're having trouble with under saddle, you want to give this every possible chance. You might be throwing a lot of good money after bad because you may end up in the hospital.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Like you can keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, but if the relationship isn't there, or if the horse is trying to tell you, look, I'm done with this, they're going to tell you in increasingly loud ways. And you can't fix that with instruction because a trainer is just trying to fit a horse into a mold. You're both just trying to fit a horse into a mold that maybe he is absolutely not going back into.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's why I was so successful with Delight, because I was willing to think outside the box, right?
Mhm.
And it wasn't that he liked me better than his previous owner. I don't think it had anything to do with that. But he and I had a connection in the sense that I was allowing him to say no and listening to it. So when it came down to it, he wasn't giving me the same behaviors as he did to her because
Mhm.
it never escalated.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
so that was just a difference in, I think, communication styles as opposed to, and then that's where the fit comes in, right? Like, is just, we were just a fit. Like, we always were. But I think if he ended up in a different home, he would have been at the kill pen. Like, I think he
Sure.
would have been I think he would have been euthanized.
If somebody's trying to squeeze him into an athletic shape that he just
Right.
wasn't mentally, he wasn't
Right.
able to produce that.
Yeah, and his
I
body
feel like
couldn't.
right. And I feel like when you described like, here's this highly athletic horse that really loved you and doted on you, but because he was highly athletic, he needed to go to a highly athletic home, right? Very thoroughbred pony book coded.
Yes.
Very 1950s. The girl loves the racehorse. The girl can do anything with the racehorse. The racehorse has to go away and be a racehorse. Very sad, but they wind up together anyway. Such a fairy tale.
True story.
I love it. True story.
Well, I mean, I am writing our story now. So
I know.
So that's kind of, maybe that's why I've been thinking about this, because, I have the animals that a lot of people don't want, right? Ferris was the exception, but Ferris also has been living with EPM for 11 years.
Yeah.
He's not super healthy.
Right.
And there's certain things that he needs that I can provide him that maybe he wouldn't get in another home. Like, if I were to sell him, which I won't, but if I were, like, I can't guarantee he would get that level of care because people may think he doesn't need it, right?
Right.
Even though it's like proven. So again, everyone is different, but it's just been so interesting as like things have been changing, how often this is coming up lately. And winter is the time to really get release and to let go what is not serving you. And I guess today's like a full moon too. So like maybe I'm PMSing. I don't know. I'm feeling emotional.
No, there's a lot of big energy.
Right?
No, and here's what I think. Here's something that I think everybody needs to think about for themselves and how it works for them. How do you communicate your own feelings to yourself, and how do you work through conversations with yourself, not with other people?
Yeah.
I am a writer, and I write when I sit down and write stuff out. That helps me a lot, guys. Like I worked through a lot of stuff last year. I filled pages and pages and pages of a journal. I did not put that on social media.
Right. That is not a place to put your feelings.
Don't do that, especially it's just getting weirder. Please don't do that. But when you write, your feelings start pouring out. You don't have to be a writer to be able to do that, but if that's a great way for you to communicate with yourself, do it. I love talking to myself.
I verbally process, as you know.
You do.
I really do.
You say everything out loud, which is great.
And then I repeat it 1,000 times.
I do that when I'm alone. It's so funny. Like the second I'm alone in the house, I'm narrating my whole life. Like the second. I don't even realize I'm doing it. I'm like walking to the kitchen to fill up a cup. And then I say to myself, I was like, as soon as I fill up this cup with water, I'm going to put some lemon juice in it. Isn't that lovely? Like you do? I swear to God.
You're a doddering old lady. I love it.
I've always been like that forever, but the house has to be empty. I don't do it to other people. I don't inflict my narration on them, but I've always narrated. My entire life has been narrated in my head. So I just say it out loud. When I say it out loud, it actually gets done. So it's even better. Yeah. You can tell to your horse. You can just talk it all out while you're riding. That's really helpful.
That's what I do. I talk to my horse, and that helps me to breathe and relax as well.
Yeah. But yeah, forming complete sentences of your thoughts will help you process them. And so when you're up against a wall and you're like, my writing's going poorly, my horse pins his ears constantly, I don't know, I don't know what's going on. If you just talk to yourself until you start getting somewhere, I really believe that helps. And I think maybe that's something that we should be teaching our kids. I mean, we don't learn it in school. It's like, talk to yourself, babe. Work it out. Work it out in your head. Because we have the answers.
Well, because a lot of people
always know how to get to them.
You know what people do? People put it out there on social media and ask.
They do.
And then, everyone's going to have a different opinion. And I wouldn't really be honest in saying that I want most of their opinions, right? Like, you don't know their background.
If you really knew these people, would you really take their advice if you really knew them?
Right. And a lot of times people use social media to criticize rather than advise, right? So, people can take things a little bit differently. So, like, I think writing it out in a journal as like a cathartic way, like no one has to ever see it, is such a wonderful idea. I mean, that's how I process a lot of my emotions and grief. I obviously talk to my friends, a couple of close friends I vent and verbally process. But I don't go on social media and like share every deep dark secret of my life, hoping for attention or advice, because like you got to be careful out there.
I think that phase of our society is slowly winding down.
Good.
And I think it's time, because it's getting weirder and weirder and weirder out there. And it's time we just kind of like go back to our personal networks, And before social media online, we had lots of private social networks, and I think like Discord is a great example of that. I'm on several Discords, which they're really tight. There's 30 people in one,
Nice.
You don't really, and I don't share that much on there either, but it's like, if I really need to say something on social media because it satisfies a weird personality,
like a screaming into the void.
Yeah, I can say it there. And then once I type it, if I don't like it, I can delete it. And nobody saw it because there's only 30 people in the group.
Yeah.
Instead of the whole world. Which,
because you can't take that stuff back. And I mean, obviously, we're getting some of the ideas from our episodes based on what people are putting out on social media. So, like, it's not private, okay? It may be used
a good point.
On a podcast.
I'm on TikTok like, what is everybody complaining about today? Perfect.
Well, and it's nice. It's like the reality TV kind of format where everyone has a bit of a chaotic life and it makes you feel better about yours.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, I don't really want to be the drama. I don't want... I'm just looking for peace in my life at this point. And for me, that peace means just connection. And, like, doing what feels honest and authentic to me. And so what that feels like to me may not be what feels like to somebody else. So take our... advice, if that's what you want to call it, like as a grain of salt. Like, we're just talking about what we would do. Yeah.
And we're crazy.
Yeah. We're is undeniable.
Wild-eyed psycho women who invest all of our money into our horses that we do nothing with except pet them.
Yeah.
And we're happy that way. Yeah. So, I mean, if that sounds good to you, then, you're on board.
We're your people.
We're your people.
But it's true. And I think, there's a nice thing about feeling like we have a community of other crazy people. So, yeah.
I do feel very close to our community of crazy people.
Well, they're amazing. And like, shout out to Equine Affair, where we got to see so many listeners.
Gosh. Yeah, that was incredible.
And tell us, like, that they were listeners and say hi. Like, that was so fun.
That was the hang. We got the hang that we wanted, where we brought the sofa. We were like, people are going to come hang, and people came to hang. That was the goal. Like, hey, this is a cool place where you can come and chill. You know who else did that on a much grander scale, but in a much colder building, was Piper Clem with Plaid Horse.
Oh, right. She did like the live, right?
And she had a beautiful like living room set up.
Oh, did she?
She did. She had sofas and a coffee table and an armchair. And I went over and sat on her couch for a while. And I think there was an espresso machine, which I will be bringing an espresso machine next year. But this was like a full espresso machine. I'm just bringing my mini Nespresso. And I mean, Yeah, she had. It's just her building is much colder. She's in like Mallory or the Young Building or one of those other ones.
We need to,
that
what we
has
need
an
to do is
arena
get
in
a
it.
sponsor for Equine
Too
Affairs
cold.
so we could get a bigger space so we could do that.
That's a really fun idea. Who wants to sponsor us for Equine Affair? If you make coffee, even better. Do that. Sponsor us. We will shill your stuff.
Absolutely.
We love shilling stuff because stuff is fun. I have a lot of it.
You know, shopping problems. So
Yeah, here, I'll show this mug right now to show you. This mug was €5 at Dunnes Store in Cork. It says, how ya? Because that's something that you would say to a friend when they come over for tea. How ya doing? Well, they wouldn't really say doing so much in Ireland, but here in the United States, they say, how ya? How ya? And this is one of my very favorite special little stoneware mugs. €5, very inexpensive. And it's my favorite color, which is like a sagey green kind of thing. So, if you want this kind of fine advertising for your product at Equine Affair, please sponsor us.
Well, that's the thing. We're nothing if not authentic. So, yes, we're willing to entertain. And so we can entertain at Equine Affair because that was hella fun. It was amazing.
So much fun.
We had such a great time. I totally lost my voice after that. Shocking to nobody. But yeah, so we're back. We're excited. Our next episode is going to be right before the holidays, so maybe we should do like a holiday theme.
Ooh, can we do it about how much I hate the holidays?
Why don't we do...
Oh, can I do a top 10 of the worst holiday songs of all time? I'm going to do that.
That sounds great. Actually, that sounds like a fun game. Let's do a couple of games. Let's do some... Maybe you know what? Let's get the clubhouse involved. Yeah, let's get the clubhouse involved.
Let's do it.
I think that's amazing. Let's
do a clubhouse live. And do games about how much we hate the holidays. It'll be fun. Everybody can be like team haters and team loves. And everybody at team hater can be on my team.
Sounds like we got some things to organize then. You know what? So
full moon.
Before we leave, I got an inflatable antlers. So we can do ring toss.
Oh God.
I should on Christmas Eve. And wait, there's another game. You can't obviously play this on a podcast. But there's another game called wig snatching. Have you heard of this?
No.
So for family events, people put on these like crazy wigs and they have this designated area and they have to put one hand behind their back and they have to snatch the other person's wigs. And whoever gets the wig off first wins. I think that's fucking amazing.
I hate group things.
It's two people.
I hate organized fun. Don't make me do it.
Well, anyway, I think we should come up with some games because this year we're not doing Radiothon with the Horse Radio Network. So maybe we make our own little fun live stream with the clubhouse.
I think yes.
I think we should do it. Okay. Awesome. So on that note, I'm going to hit the stop button because otherwise you're going to keep going. You have too much energy.
I have too much energy. Bye.
Thank you for being a little weird with us, horse girls. If you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your player of choice, follow us on Instagram at Adulting with Horses Podcast, or even better, join our Adulting with Horses Clubhouse on Facebook, where you can become part of the show. Also, it's a great place to meet other horse crazy women. Thanks, and see you next time.